Greetings, welcome to the Metal Book Tavern and welcome to my reading vlog. Today is April 10th, 2023 and I will be filming every day for the whole week. I will be reading and doing some other interesting things. So let's get started. Okay, first things first, here's the list of all the books that I have read in 2023 so far. Here are 19 books, including Hans Christian Andersen tales. There is a lot of Hans Christian Andersen, to be honest, and I want to read more, of course. I got used to doing things in English. Oh, and by the way, this planner is a birthday gift from my friends for my birthday in 2021. I didn't know how to use planner back in the day, but now I more or less learned, even though I'm not always accurate. And for those of you who are curious, this is a Stradivarius planner because my friends love shopping. Oh, here's my Pikachu lamp that I have had since 2003. Someone gave it to me for my birthday and I have had it ever since. It still works, as you can see, and it's so cute. Okay, so now I have to choose the book from my bookshelf. I have a lot of unread and unfinished books on my bookshelves. Oh, I will also have the unread books in my library video coming up soon. I think by the time I upload this video I have already released it. I have a lot of unread and unfinished books. Okay, so here are the bookshelves. I'm looking towards the English bookshelf. So this bookshelf is all books in English. But I'm also looking towards the Russian shelf and I know which book I want to read right now, and here it is. And so here you have it. This is Come As You Are, Nirvana biography by Michael Azerrad. As you can see, I have already read around half of the book. It's very interesting, it's very easy to read, and it isn't very dry or full of details like some other biographies. I also want to have a book from English shelf. So, here on this shelf you can see Normal People by Sally Rooney. So I have already read this book and I need to give it back to the owner this week. You know what, I was curious about the hipster literature and I decided to give Sally Rooney a chance. Okay, I'll be honest, I was expecting the worst, but she did not live up to my expectations. The book is surprisingly good given my expectations, but it's still a hipster literature and it's, pardon me, it's not the best. I will think what to pick up from the English bookshelf. And now let's read Nirvana's biography. Oh, look, the book's color is blue. It's very, very blue. And the bookmark is also very blue. And here are some stickers over here, they're blue. And so, many interesting moments I'm going to annotate while using only the blue stickers. So I have been reading this book for weeks already. I don't remember when I started it, somewhere in March probably. And I reached chapter 8. It has a very funny title. So it's titled verse, chorus, verse, chorus, solo, bad solo. So here's the first chapter where Courtney Love appears. Keep in mind that this book came out in 1993 while Kurt Cobain was still alive. You know what? Today is very cold here, and I now want myself some coffee. I'm going to make it. When I drink coffee, I also like myself some snacks. I like buying these corny bars in pharmacy shops. This is peanut chocolate, this is simply chocolate, this is chocolate banana, and this isn't corny, but it's a simple protein crunch bar. 21g protein, low sugar, milk, chocolate, caramel. I have to pick one of these, not this one. I haven't tasted this one, chocolate banana, so I'm going to try this one. Oh, look at my British flag mug. I deliberately selected this mug because now British flag makes me think of my friend who recently flew to live in the UK. Maka, if you are watching this, I miss you. I can't wait to see you again. So I'm reading the part where they are making Nevermind album. You probably heard of this album, you definitely heard a few songs, probably Smells Like Teen Spirit, and you definitely have seen the album cover. The book here it's written that they were worried about the cover. Kurt was worried about the cover, and then I think, why didn't you choose a girl for that album cover? So the book mentions the drum track and the sound. I don't know how that's word in English, but the name mentioned here is Miles Kennedy. You mean that one? Oh, I just found out that there already had existed the band named Nirvana. It existed since 1983. And they send messages to radio stations to stop playing the Nirvana songs. I mean the songs by these guys. Spoiler alert, the 1983 band got $50,000 and it was all over. So I have stopped at page 255 and now it's more than a half. And now I have to leave because I recently went back to the gym and I go there almost every evening. I like working out at evenings, so I'll continue reading later. So I came back from the gym and I wanted to read a little bit before I go to bed. Instead, I spent a lot of time working out things on my Goodreads page. Yeah, I have a Goodreads page, and if you are interested, you are free to follow me on Goodreads. So I was sorting out dates for the books that I read. As it turned out, I didn't sort out all dates. And so now I'm about to go to bed because I'm very tired, and I'll continue filming tomorrow. Okay, so it's Tuesday now. I have a few hours left before I had to leave to go to my internship, and I'm going to read a little bit. I cleaned up a little bit and I'm going to read, but this time another book, maybe in another language. Okay, so I am looking at my lower shelf, and now I intend to read a book in Georgian because I haven't read a book in Georgian in ages. That book is Me, Grandma, Iliko and Ilarion by Nodar Dumbadze. I like this edition very much. I have already begun reading it. Oh, I have this nice British bookmark over here. And so, let's start reading it. You know one thing that I like about this book? When the main character says something, he thinks that his dog replies to him, and he thinks his dog has thoughts. He imagines how it would have been like if the dog talked. I am reading the second chapter of this book and I'm thinking, author, why? Why did you have to hurt us like this in the second chapter already? Okay, so there is one spoiler I do want to point out. Spoiler alert. So, our main characters and their dog go to hunt, and as a result of the accident, the dog dies. And then there's this very interesting line. He was loyal, like a dog, and the gates of heaven are open for him, if the dogs have heaven at all. Upon reading this line, I remembered all dogs go to heaven. Okay, so I have reached chapter 3. For now, I'm going to stop, and now I'm going to pick another book. But first, I am hungry. I need to eat. So I have eaten, and now it's time to choose a book, while I still have the time. So here's my English bookshelf, and I decided to read this one. This is Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien, the third book in Lord of the Rings series. I will read one chapter. You know what? I am reading Tolkien and now I realize that I can't read Tolkien properly anymore. I mean, heavy metal bands have altered my perception of Tolkien's books, not just Lord of the Rings, but other books as well, especially when I read them in English, because heavy metal bands, most of them that do Tolkien sing in English, well, at least those that I listen to, and there are a lot of specific words both in metal lyrics and in Tolkien's books, and it's impossible for me to not think of metal bands. So I'm reading the third chapter, and then I realized that Eowyn is 23 years old, and she falls in love with Aragorn, who is 87. She fell in love with the guy who is old enough to be her grandfather. Reading this makes me realize that one of the best changes in the films was that Aragorn and Eowyn are close of age. Or at least the age difference isn't visible. It kind of makes me wonder, what does 23-year-old see in this? I really wonder what does Eowyn see in Aragorn given his age. I get that Aragorn is sort of a local rockstar. I mean, he's noble and blah 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 blah, but he's still old for her. So I finished one chapter of this book. I am now at the chapter 4, The Siege of Gondor. And now I have to prepare and to leave. I will continue reading later. Okay, so today is Wednesday. I didn't film anything yesterday because I came home very tired. First from the internship, and then I went to the gym, and then I came home very tired and I wanted to sleep. And now I'm simply cleaning up, and then I'll probably go out. Okay, this is a bit of an office tour. This is where I film most of my videos. This is the chair where I sit when I film them. I put this chair over there when I film. And here are the things that I keep on this place. So here's the lighting. I usually pick a warmer color than this one. I also have these pencils, this diary, this journal, this box with some of my jewelry. This is my planner, it's always open. This is my microphone. I got a few weeks ago for double the price. I got it for cheap and it works very well. Okay, here's the photo of me and the night I took when I was in Budapest in Hungary. And this is the vase with the flags of Great Britain and Germany. I got these flags when I was on fair in December 2018. I thought I'd keep them for a while and then throw away. And they're still here 5 years later. I keep them because they fit the atmosphere. Alright, and here's the bookshelf. Now I think it's time to wipe the dust off the bookshelves. I need to take down all these books and to clean up the bookshelves. Haven't done that in weeks. Soon I will have the video with my book haul because I need around 3 books to film the book haul. The deal is that I prefer to have from 9 to 11, an average 10 books, maximum 12, to film the book haul. When I get these books, there will be a book haul. And now let's clean up the bookshelves. But you know what? Before I take care of my bookshelves, I'd rather go out. I will go walking, buy some things, and then I will go back. And so I went outside. I wanted to take the camera with me. In general, I want to take vlogs outside, but I'm not ready for it yet. Now it's time to take care of the bookshelves. Okay, so I cleaned my lowest and the hardest shelf. It's hard for me to get books from that shelf. I will show you why. Here's this thing, and it's hard to get over here because it's very raw to get from here, and reaching books is kind of hard. I have to duck and take the books, and it's quite hard. Alright, now it's time for higher shelves. Okay, so you have just seen the books from my fourth shelf, and I want to talk separately about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I already read the first one, or to be exact, reread this. This book is still good, just like it was in 2015 when I first read it. It's still fun, it's still interesting, it's still thrilling, it's still a pure escape. You can read this book and forget about everything. This is a very decent young adult, and it's a very underrated series as well, and more young adult fans should read this because it's very good. And now I'm about to read The Hollow City. I remember reading this one multiple times, and I liked it a lot because it was very thrilling. And The Library of Souls, I don't remember at all. I do remember the ending, and I do remember something about two souls. This is one of the reasons I want to read this series. The deal is that back in 2015 I read the first two books multiple times, but this one I only read once, and I'd like to read this again for a second time. And so my fourth shelf is now clean. Now it's time to clean the English shelf. So the books on this shelf are standing in different order now. So I have these two Macmillan's Library editions: Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, The Fall of Arthur, and so on. Elantris, Gentleman in Moscow, and so on. On the left side we have books that I want to read in nearby future. As you have seen in this vlog, I am reading Return of the King, and once I finish it, Lord of the Rings goes back where it stood originally, and Harry Potter 2 once I get books 4 and 7. And here are all the other books: Anne of Green Gables, Elantris, A Gentleman in Moscow, some Stephen King books, The Kingkiller Chronicle, Paradise Lost, more Tolkien, and in Sapiens. And in the end, the only two books that are still standing in the previous, like they did in the previous order, are His Dark Materials and the Ika book. Alright, now it's time to do this one. You know what? I look at these Stephen King books and then I think, this year, in 2023, I decided I'd read more King. Not only the books that I haven't read, well, I have The Talisman on the upper shelves, but also reread some of these stories. So I'm thinking about rereading The Dead Zone. I have been thinking about this book recently, and I'd like to read this. Okay, this is how it looks right now. I've changed the order of some books. There you have Ender's Game and some biographies, The Book Thief and Tolkien and Stephen King and The Witcher and Scott Pilgrim and some other books. Now it's time for this shelf and then for that one. Alright, this is how my bookshelves look like. At first I thought I wouldn't change this shelf, but eventually I decided to put A Song of Ice and Fire books. Even though they are much smaller, I decided to put them on the left side because this is the series that shocked me. This is the series that changed my life. I was such a huge fan and so on. But now when I look at this side, I realized that I should change the order. I should put Dune before the Stormlight Archive because I'm still in process of reading Dune while I finished the Stormlight Archive. Wheel of Time is still relevant. I still need to read the book 4. So wait a minute. Alright, this is how it looks right now. The Dune is before the Stormlight Archive. It's between the Stormlight Archive and Wheel of Time. Oh, just look where is this album standing. Throughout all the time that I have had this album, it stood alongside Lord of the Rings, Narnia, Wheel of Time, the Stormlight Archive and Dune. And finally, it stands alongside the series that got me into the band, and that's The Song of Ice and Fire, of course. It's time to take care of that bookshelf. The bookshelf reorganization is finally over. On the very left we have books that I want to read as fast as possible. I really want to read The Talisman by Stephen King. And in the center there are still books in English, the ones that don't fit on this bookshelf because they're too small, although there are these Macmillan's collector's library editions. And so the fourth row is the only one that didn't change. And finally, the book reorganization is over. I can go to bed now. Okay, so it's a Thursday night right now. I didn't film anything today. So today I continued reading this book. I am on chapter 3. This one also has a prologue, but without a name. I didn't count that as a chapter, but it's a third one, not a fourth one. I mean the chapter. Anyway, it's late now. I came back from the gym and now I'm about to go to bed. Tomorrow I will edit and possibly upload the videos for this channel, the Metal Book Tavern. And now I'm off to bed. So today is Friday and now I am in the process of editing a video for the Metal Book Tavern. The deal is that I recorded videos in both English and Russian. In Russian the videos are already released, while in English not yet. One video is going to be ready today, I think. And now you can watch me edit this video. The video is uploading and now it's time to make a thumbnail. The book starts here. Anyway, I don't know when I'm going to read this, but I will. Okay, so the video is out, you can watch it. And now I'm off to some bookstores. I wanna find myself some new books and I'm going to take you with me. I'm taking this camera and I will show you a little bit of my adventures. This is the book I bought. This is the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien with the assistance of Christopher Tolkien. I will talk about this book when I film the book haul. Here's where the book resides now, alongside other Tolkien books. Now there used to be Ikabog, and now it's moved lower. And there used to be Lizzie's Story by Stephen King, and now it's lower. It's this one. I hope you can see, probably. It's on the left from the blue book. It's pink one. So today is Saturday. It's the Easter holidays, Orthodox Easter holidays, so happy Easter. Anyway, today I went out. I should have taken my camera with me. It's bad that I didn't, and I reached a bookstore. And now I'll have to do another bookshelf reorganization, small one, because I got myself a new book, and that is Rockstar's Guide to Life. And I actually want to read this book as fast as possible, and I'm going to do that in the next reading vlog. I will go through this book. Basically, you have multiple rock stars teaching you how to live. But it doesn't sound too preachy. And now I have to reorganize bookshelf again, so let's do this. Today is Tuesday, 18th of April 2023. I didn't film on Sunday or even Monday because I was kind of busy. Well, for example, I finished the Nirvana biography by Michael Azerrad, and I can say that this is an amazing biography. This is definitely a 5-star read and one of the best books of the year, 2023. I can say that this is what a band biography is supposed to be, because it focuses not only on the lives and of the musicians, their biographies and so on, but it predominantly focuses on Nirvana songs and what inspired them, what shaped them, what shaped the worldview of the musicians. Well, at least Kurt Cobain, definitely. Sure, the book does focus on him particularly, but Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl aren't left out either. They have a big place in this book. The best thing about this book that it isn't very dry, it is very fresh to read. Well, for example, here, this is a Metallica biography by Mick Wall. Well, here there are some details and there is some dryness, but not as much dryness as in the Led Zeppelin biography. I quit that one because it was too dry for me. Here there are some details that seem dry and not very interesting. Well, here on the other hand, you have everything that matters. I kinda wish that this biography focused on Metallica's songs, lyrics and what inspired them much more, just like this book did. Now don't get me wrong, both biographies focus on these important aspects, but this one focuses on the band's art itself much more. This is what should be the main focus, the band itself and what shaped it. I really hope that when I will be reading biographies of my actual favorite bands, I'm going to encounter their song lyrics and to get to be exposed to the band's inner philosopher, I'd say. Well, I do think that there is some kind of, at least a minor philosophy of any band member that writes the lyrics. And this is the side I wanna explore. On my Instagram page, I post a photo of 6 books that I want to read as fast as possible. 3 of these books I cannot read right now because they're planned for other videos. There will be reading books. And the other 2, to be honest, I'm not in the mood for them right now. But luckily there happened to be a book to read right now, right after I finished reading about Nirvana. I thought, I'm not going to be waiting anymore, I'm tired. I want to read this awesome book right now, and I took The Amazing Morris and His Educated Rodents by Terry Pratchett. I just don't like the cover, but the book seems to be really awesome. I'm right now on chapter 5 and I cannot wait to find out what happens next. By the plot you have this talking head, a few rats and an orphan boy. Together they plan a scheme for getting money from naive town residents. So the rats go around the town and the boy he plays on the piper and takes the rats away, and then they split the money and they go from town to town like this. But then they encounter an interesting village called Bad Blinds, and things seem to go differently here. This is an amazing satire. I love how Terry Pratchett makes fun of traditional orphan cliches, like maybe you are an orphan but you're secretly a prince who is destined to exact a sword from the stone and become the rightful king, blah 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 blah. Or you're an orphan and you were abused when you were growing up. Spoiler, no. The orphan guy had an amazing childhood. I love how Terry Pratchett makes fun of these cliches. I love his satire, and I definitely cannot wait to find out what happens next. I sense a 5-star read and one of the best books of 2023. This one is actually also a 5-star read and one of the best books of 2023. Anyway, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'll try to film more of these. See you next time. Goodbye.